Yeah. Hello, everyone. Is my voice audible, guys? Okay. So in last session, we have just started with the CSS, right? We have learned some of the concepts in HTML. Okay. And now we have started with CSS. Now still HTML is not finished. We have to cover some more topics in HTML. Those topics we will cover once we have done some of the CSS. Once we learn some concepts of CSS, then again we will come back to HTML and we will learn the remaining topics. Okay. Okay. So come back here. Okay. So what is CSS, guys? CSS is a styling language, right? CSS is a styling language, and it is used for styling or formatting the content. Formatting the content on web page. So what is CSS? CSS is a styling language. Okay, it is just a styling language, and it is used for styling or formatting the content. Remember, styling or formatting the content, or I can say, or HTML element on web page. On the web page. This is what we know about the CSS. Now tell me what CSS is providing to us. What CSS is providing to us so that we can style or format the content. What CSS is providing to us. Yeah. So CSS is providing us something called properties. Okay. So set of properties. So using the set of properties, we can style or format the content. Format the content or HTML element. Okay. So what HTML is providing us to structure the content? What HTML is providing us to structure the content? Did you guys remember what HTML is providing us to structure the content? Yes, it is providing us something called HTML elements, right? Something called elements. Okay. In the same way, your CSS is providing us something called set of properties. Now, every property in CSS will be in the form of key value pair, right? If you remember, in last session I have told you every property in CSS will be in the key value pair. It's very similar to your attribute. Key value pair. Key and value are differentiated with colon. They are differentiated with colon. And after configuring CSS property, you have to end that CSS property with semicolon. You have to end that CSS property with the semicolon. Okay. Is it clear up to here? Anyone have any doubts up to here? Okay. Okay. Now let's try to understand how to write CSS code, or I can say how to add CSS code in the HTML document. How to add CSS code in the HTML document. Basically, there are three ways. There are three ways to add CSS in the HTML document. How many ways we have? We have totally three ways to add CSS in the HTML document. Anybody knows what are those 3 ways? Anybody knows? Maybe you have learnt about these 3 ways in your college days. Yes. So those 3 ways are, the first way is inline. We are going to call as an inline styling. Second way is internal styling. Okay. Third way is external styling. Okay. You can call internal styling, or some people will call as a embedded styling. Okay. How many ways? We have totally 3 ways using which we can add CSS in the HTML document. Okay. So let's see first way. Let's see first way, that is inline styling. So if you want to use inline styling to add CSS in HTML document, then we have to take the help of one special attribute called style. We have to take the help of special attribute called style. If you want to add CSS using inline styling, then we have to take the help of a special attribute called style. Using style attribute, we can add CSS inside the HTML document. Okay, using style attribute, we can add CSS in the HTML document. And this way of styling is called inline styling. Inline styling. If you are adding CSS properties using style attribute, if you are adding inline styling, okay, then this way of styling is called inline styling. So let's see. Suppose I create here one document, something called inline.html. Start with your doc type. Okay, then HTML tag, head section, forget about title, I have not explained it. Body, that's it. Now inside this body, let's suppose I am taking one tag called h2 and I'm saying here, welcome to CSS. I have only one tag called h2, and let's suppose I am taking some paragraph and just generating some random content. Now, if I open this document in my browser, it looks something like this. Okay, it looks something like this. We have h2, we have paragraph. Now, I want to change the color. I want to change the color of this content. I want to show this content in the red color. I want to show this content in the green color. If you want to change the color of your content, then CSS is providing us one property called color property. And we have to mention the color name here. Whatever color you want, you have to mention that name. So this is the color property using which we can change the content. We can change the color of our content. Okay. So let's see here. Now, suppose I want to change the color of h2. It means we have to write CSS. We have to add CSS. Now we can add CSS in 3 ways. The first way is inline. How to add CSS using inline way means, to this element, we have to add one special attribute called style. Now, this is how we add the attribute. Style equals to double quotes. Now, inside this double quotes, we have to write our CSS properties. That's it. We have to just write our CSS property. As of now, we know only one property, that is color. So simply write the key name, that is color, colon, then what value you want to give, like red. After that, semicolon. End with semicolon and save your file. Go back to the browser. Now see, the color of your content is in the red. So what we need to do? Simply, we have to select the element that is H2. Okay, here we have something like welcome to CSS H2. Now this content I want in the red color. This content I want in the red color. So for that, what we need to do? Inside this H2, we have to add simple attribute called style. Now this is how we add the attributes, right? We have seen how to add attributes in HTML. Now inside this double quotes, inside that double quotes, we have to write our CSS property. So we know only one property, that is color. Color, colon, whatever color you want to give, red, then semicolon. This is how we write the CSS property. This is your CSS property. Okay. In this, color is a key. Color is called a key. Okay. And red is a value. Red is a value. And this entire thing together we are going to call as a property. Entire thing together we are going to call as a property. So here color is a key. Red is a value. And that entire thing we are going to call as a CSS property. Suppose you want to add one more color. You want to add one more property. What do you need to do? After adding semicolon, write one more property here. For example, let's consider I want to increase the font size. I want to increase the size of this particular content. I want to make this size little bit bigger. Now to increase the size of your content, we have one more property called font size. There is a property called font hyphen size. And here we have to give the value in the form of number, like 30 pixel or something like 50 pixel, like that. So font size is a property using which we can increase the size of our content. We can increase the size of our content. Okay. Suppose I want to add one more property here. After color, I want to add one more property. So after this semicolon, we can write font size. Font hyphen size. Remember, we have to use key name like this only. Font hyphen size. This is the predefined key. And the value for this property, you can give some number. So here I am just giving something like 50 pixel. I want the size of my font should be 50 pixel. If I save it, if I go back here, now see the size of my content has been increased. So like this, how many properties we can add? How many properties we can add? We can add any number of properties. We can add any number of properties. Suppose you want to add one more property. So simply you have to add semicolon. You have to add semicolon and next property you have to write. Remember, all the CSS properties should be in the double quotes only. You have to write inside that double quotes only. This is one property. This is another property. If you want to write one more property, you can write here. You can write any number of properties. Is it clear? Understood how to add CSS using the inline styling? Understood, guys? How to add CSS using inline styling? This entire approach we are going to call as an inline styling. Yes. And if you remember, I have added all the PDFs, all HTML PDF I have added in the GitHub. Did you guys gone through that? Did you guys gone through all the PDFs for HTML I have added in the GitHub? So this is the GitHub URL, right? So if you go to that GitHub URL here and click on enter, here all the session notes I have updated. So till now we have just done with 7 sessions. All the 7 sessions code and paint file I have updated in the respective folders. And there is one folder called HTML PDF notes. Now if you open that, here I have updated all the PDFs. I have just updated all the PDFs. Okay, you guys can go through the through these PDFs. Okay, here I have added the definitions, examples, syntaxes, everything I have added. Okay, so here, and in the same way, I will add the CSS PDF also. Here I will create one more folder, CSS PDF. I will add CSS PDF. Then I will create JavaScript folder and I will add all the JavaScript PDFs. In this way, all the PDFs will be available, paint files will be available, and the code, whatever we are doing in the sessions, all those will be available to you guys. In case if you don't have this link, just save this link with you guys. Okay, if you want the previous sessions links, please connect with the admin people. They will help you guys. Okay, I don't have the links, recording videos. Admin people will help you. Just connect with the admin and just ask them the previous sessions recording. In case if you guys did not attend, they will be providing you the recordings. Okay. Yeah. And if you go to the YouTube, I think in the YouTube also you will be able to find it. Like if you just go to the YouTube and just search for Ashok IT. Okay, first open the YouTube and here just you guys can search for the Ashok IT. Okay, now this is the Ashok IT channel. Here you have the live option. Okay, you have some live tab. Just click on that live. And here you will be able to find that. Okay, wherever you are seeing UI technologies session 7 like this, you will find all the sessions. UI technologies. Okay, apart from that, another session videos like Python full stack, whatever demo session they have taken, they have updated those videos also. So if you want, you guys can just give it a try on those videos also. Okay, so here you will find all the UI technologies video. So let me just give this link as well. Yeah, I will teach you Bootstrap as well. Okay, Bootstrap also will be covered. Bootstrap is very easy, guys. Just I will take 3-4 sessions on Bootstrap. I will just make you understand the concept of Bootstrap. I will cover main concepts. Then remaining things you guys can learn by yourself. Such a easy Bootstrap is. Okay. Now we have done just with the inline styling. Now let's understand the internal styling. Internal styling. Okay. Now what is internal styling? Now internal styling, this technique we can use using the style tag. So there is something called style tag. Okay, using this tag, using style tag, we can add CSS inside the HTML document. Another way is using this style tag. Okay, now this style tag we have to add inside the header section. Style tag should be added inside the header section. Now this is rule given by CSS. Now if you add style tag in body section, will it give any error? Answer is no, it will not give any error, but it is not recommended. It is just not recommended to add style tag inside your body section. It is just recommended to add style tag inside the header section. Okay, so let's see. It's very easy. I'm just opening here internal styling. I'm just creating one document called internal. I will just copy the previous code as it is. I will paste here. I will remove this inline styling this attribute I will remove. Okay, welcome to CSS. I will say using internal approach. Now open this document. Okay, now here we have opened this document. Now I want to give some color here. Maybe I want to show in the green color. This content I want to show in the green color. So in that case, what we will do? We will go to this head section. This is our head section, right? Inside this, we will add style tag. Like this, we will add this style tag. Inside this style tag, we will select the element to which content you want to color. I want to color to this H2 element, right? Select this H2 element. How to select this H2 element? To select this H2 element, we have multiple ways. One of the way is using tag name. One of the way is using tag name. What is the tag name here? H2. So select this entire HTML element using tag name, that is H2. Then open curly brace, close curly brace. Open curly brace, close curly brace. And inside this curly brace, write the CSS properties. Write the CSS property like color. Color I am giving here green color. Semicolon. Save it. Go back to your browser. Now see, your content is in the green color. I want to increase the size or I want to decrease the size. Let's suppose I want to decrease the size. So to increase or decrease the size, we have a property called font hyphen size. And here value I am giving like 12 pixel. 12 pixel. Now size of our H2 element will decrease. Now see, the size of our H2 element is decreased. If you want to increase, just give some big value. Like I'm giving here 72 pixel. Save it. Now it's like 72 pixel. Okay. Maybe I will try here 62 pixel. Here we got 62 pixel. Okay. So how to add internal styling means using style tag. So what is the syntax? Okay. Here selector. Okay. Element selector I can say. Then open curly brace, close curly brace. Then inside this curly brace, you have to write CSS properties. You have to add CSS properties. This way of adding the CSS is called internal styling. This is called internal styling. Element selector, open curly brace, close curly brace, then add CSS properties. Selector, open curly brace, close curly brace, add CSS properties. Yeah. Are you guys facing any issues, guys, to join the session? To join the session, are you guys facing any issues? Or anybody is getting disconnected? Issues or disconnected? No, right? Only few people are facing. Other people who are facing those issues, can you guys please check your internet connection? Check your internet connection. Okay, if you have very poor internet connection, there is a possibility that you guys might be getting disconnected, or screen might be lagging, or something kind of issues you will get. So make sure your internet connection is good whenever you guys are joining the online sessions, guys. Okay, I would recommend to just to go with 50 Mbps or 100 Mbps speed. Okay. Okay. Now let's come back here. Now this is internal styling. Now tell me, What is the difference between inline styling and internal styling? What is the difference between inline styling and internal styling? Okay, let's try to understand the difference between inline styling and internal styling. Now let's suppose I have here two paragraphs. In the inline styling, I have one paragraph. Let's suppose I have one more paragraph here. I have two paragraphs here. Okay, here I will say, welcome to CSS using inline. Now, if I go back to my document, now see here, welcome to CSS using inline approach. I have two paragraphs here. Now to this both the paragraph, I want to give same styles. To this both the paragraph, let's suppose I want to give same style. Like I want to add color property and I want to add font size property for paragraph also. So what we need to do for this paragraph also, we have to add style attribute. Now here we have to add color, maybe something like I'm adding blue, and font size, I'm just adding something like 22 pixel. Now same properties I want for another paragraph also. So what we need to do, we have to copy the code and we have to paste here. It means same code we have to write 2 times. Same code we are writing 2 times. Now you will get the styles. You will get the blue color, text color, and the font size of your paragraph has been increased. Suppose if you want to give same styles for same element, then going with inline approach is not a correct approach. Now here adding the CSS using inline approach is not correct approach. Now why it is not correct approach? Because same code we are repeating 2 times. Same code we are repeating 2 times. In this case, you can select internal styling. In this case, you can go with internal styling. Suppose for this paragraph and for this paragraph, you want to add different color. You want to add different color. In that, inline styling is the best approach. Maybe here I want to give green. Let's suppose here I want to give something like green color. Now, if you want to give unique styles for the same element, better to go with inline styling. Better to go with inline styling. When to go with inline styling? If you want to give unique style. Unique style. Now here, how many properties we wrote? Only 2 properties. But in future, do we write only 2 properties or we can write any number of properties? For this paragraph, currently we just wrote 2 properties. But is it mandatory that we will write only 2 properties? Or in future, we can add more properties also. So in future, maybe for this paragraph, you might add more properties of CSS. So if you add more properties here, then this code will look very complex. Just imagine if you are adding here 20 CSS properties. Adding 20 CSS properties will be very, very complex. It looks very complex now. Now this code, this entire paragraph will not look that simple because here you have to add 20 properties. Just suppose here I'm just adding like this 20 properties. Like this 20 properties if I add. Now your UI will not, your code will not look that simple, right? It looks little complex. See, it looks something like this. Now this paragraph looks very complex. So it is not recommended to use inline styling if you want to add more properties. If you want to add more properties. So when you should go with inline styling, if you want unique styles and if you are configuring less properties. Less properties. Less properties means like I would recommend if you want to add 3 or less than 3. Less than 3. Then only go for inline styling. Suppose you decided to add only 3 properties or less than 3 properties for your element. then only go with inline styling. If you decided to add more than 3 properties, like 5, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20, then inline styling is not recommended. You can do, but it is not recommended. Why it is not recommended? Because your code might look very complex. Your code might look very complex. Okay, that is the reason it is not recommended to use inline styling if you want to add more properties. When to go with inline styling? If you want to add just 3 or less than 3 properties, then it's better to go with inline styling. And that too, if you want to add unique styles. If you want to add unique style, then go with inline styling. Okay. Now suppose you want same styles. If you want same styles, suppose in your document you have 5 paragraphs. For 5 paragraphs, you want same style. Then better to go with internal styling. Internal styling. If you want to add more properties, go with internal styling. Go with internal styling. Okay. If you want to add same styling, if you want to add same styling, and you want to add more properties, then better to go with internal approach. Suppose here I have one more paragraph. So I will just copy this. I will add here 3 paragraphs. Now in this internal.html, I have 3 paragraphs. Here I have 3 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. Now for all these 3 properties, for all these 3 paragraphs, I want to add same color. In that case, what we can do? We can simply select paragraph here. And simply we can add color something like I will just add here red. Now see, if you go back here, refresh, where did I add it? Okay, here double quotes are added. Remove this double quotes. Okay, yeah. Now see, all the paragraph got the red color. So if you want to add same styling, and if you are configuring more properties, better to go with internal styling. Better to go with internal styling compared to inline styling. Suppose if you get a requirement where you want to add unique style. You want to add unique style. Plus, you need to configure nearly 20 properties. 20 properties. Then which you will select? In this way, in this requirement, which styling you will select? Here I told, if you want unique styles, if you want to configure less properties, go with inline styling. If you want same styling and more properties, go with internal styling. But if you get a requirement where you have to add unique styles, it means all paragraphs should have unique style, and you are configuring more than 5 or more than 10 or maybe 20 properties. So in this case, which approach you will select? Will you select inline or will you select internal? Yes, we will go with internal styling only. We will go with internal styling only. Here also we will go with internal styling only. But the selection of element will be different. It means now this element, this paragraph we have selected using the tag name, right? Now instead of selecting the paragraphs using tag name, we will follow different approach. We will follow different approach to select the elements. Now what is that different approach? I will explain you after some time. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Understood inline styling and internal styling? When to go with inline styling, when to go with internal styling? Okay. Now, if someone asks you, which is the best approach between these two? Which is best approach between inline and internal, what will be your answer? In your interviews, they will ask this kind of question. They will ask you, in how many ways we can add CSS? You will say 3 ways. Then they will ask you, which is the best approach or best way to add CSS? What will be your answer? So you just compare this both and tell me which is the best approach. Yeah. So don't give answer inline or internal. Your answer should be depends upon requirement. Okay. You have to say depends upon requirement. Depends upon requirement. Okay. So if requirement demands that I want unique style and I just want to configure 1 or 2 properties, then better to go with inline styling. If requirement demands that you want same styling or maybe different styling and you want to configure multiple properties, then better to go with internal styling. Okay. So remember, your programming languages or any technologies will give us multiple techniques to use something. To do something, it will give us multiple ways. Now, it is not like mandatory that we will use only one way. So always it depends upon requirement, whichever demands. Based on that, we will use the approach. For example, if you want to move from one city to another city, you want to move from one city to another city. Now you have multiple ways, right? You can move from one city to another city. You can go with bus. You can go with train. You can go with a plane. Now tell me which is the best approach. You can go with your own vehicle like car. Now which is the best approach? Which is the best way to travel from one city to another city? Let's assume that it's around 800 kilometers. Okay. Now that depends upon lot of factors, right? Now that depends upon lot of factors, right? You cannot choose bus, train, plane or car. Again, depends on lot of factor. Suppose it is very, very urgent. You just want to move from CT1 to CT2 and it's a 800 kilometers and you just need to move within 6 to 7 hours. Now tell me, if you have a condition that you need to move from one city to another city and the distance between these both the cities is 800 kilometers and you need to reach within 6 to 7 hours. Okay. And in this case, there is no issue with the budget. You don't have any issue with the budget. So in this case, which approach you will choose? Yes, you will choose plane, right? Now, suppose you don't have any restriction of time. You don't have any restriction for this time, but you have the restriction with the budget. You have the restriction with the budget. Okay. So in that case, what you will select? You will select bus or train or maybe car. Right? Again, train is better, right? Train is far better than bus and car. But traveling 800 kilometers with car and bus is very difficult. Okay. But you can travel, right? But can we travel from one city to another city using bus or car? If I say, can we travel using bus or car? Can we travel? Yes. Same approach here also. Same concept here also. Suppose I want same styling. I want to add 20 properties for each paragraph. Can I go with inline styling? Can I do with that inline styling? Suppose I want same styling and for each paragraph I want to add 20 properties. So can I fulfill this requirement with inline styling? My question is I want same styling and for each element I am configuring nearly 20 properties. So can I fulfill this requirement with inline styling? I can fulfill. Answer should be yes. Okay. I can fulfill, but it is not recommended. Okay, this is how people will confuse in the interviews. Now, a lot of people will say no. Directly, they will say without thinking. You have to say yes. Answer should be yes. We can do, but not recommended. Now, not recommended. You have to say it is not recommended. Next question. They will ask based on your answer. They will ask you why it is not recommended. Why it is not recommended. Okay. So sometimes whenever you give interviews, your next question will depends upon what you are giving the answer. Next question will depend upon what answer you are giving. Okay, I'm just trying to make you understand, because this is the questions they will ask in the interviews. Though we learn CSS in depth and we don't know in which pattern they will ask, we will just lose those opportunities. Though we have the knowledge, we will lose the opportunity because we did not understand exactly what he is expecting. You will think that you gave right answer. You will think you gave right answer, but the interviewer is expecting something different answer from you. Okay, all these are very, very important, guys. So we are going to learn all these things also. While teaching the concepts, I will teach you few more things which will help you guys in the interviews. So make sure whenever you are learning and practicing, try to practice it little bit in depth. Okay. Now let's suppose I have two HTML document, document 1, document 2, and document 3. Okay. Now these are the 3 HTML documents. Now in all these documents, let's assume that I have paragraph tag. Okay, I have 2 paragraph tags. Same 2 paragraph tags I have here also. Same 2 paragraph tags I have here also. Now to all these paragraphs, I have 3 documents. In all the 3 documents, I have same styling. I want to give same style for all the paragraphs. Plus, I want to configure nearly 30 properties. 30 properties for all the paragraphs. So for this paragraph 30, for this paragraph 30, for this paragraph 30, for this paragraph 30. And all these documents, we have interconnected them. We have just interconnected them. We have just interconnected them. Now tell me, in this requirement, which is the best approach? Should go with inline styling or internal styling? In this approach or in this requirement, which is the best approach? I have multiple documents. In all the documents, I have same tags and I want same styles. But the properties, whatever I am configuring, those are very much. These are nearly 30 properties. So should I go with inline or internal? Yes, my question is simple, right? I'm asking inline or internal. Inline or internal. Some of you guys are saying external. Now the question was in between inline, internal, but you guys are giving the answer external. You are rejected. So you have to listen the question very properly, guys. That is one more way. If you don't listen properly, you will be rejected. Answer was in between inline and internal, which is the best approach in this requirement. Okay. Yeah. In this case, we can go with internal. But internal we can fulfill, but it is not recommended. In this requirement, better to go with something called external approach. Okay, when to go with external approach? You have to go with external approach if multiple documents required same styling. If multiple documents require same styling. Or you can go with external approach if your CSS code is very complicated and lengthy. Very complicated and lengthy. Suppose in your document, you have 100 elements, and for all the 100 elements, you have to add styles. Now, writing 100 elements, then writing CSS code for 100 elements in the same document will be very complex. It looks very complex, and the size of your file will be very big. Okay, in this way or in this requirement, internal styling or inline styling is not recommended. So in this requirement, external approach is recommended. You have to go with external approach. Okay, now what is this external approach? In external approach, we will create separate CSS file. We will create one separate CSS file. Okay, we will create one CSS file. In that CSS file, we will write CSS code. We will write our CSS code. And this CSS file, we will link. This CSS file, we are going to link with all the HTML document. Same CSS file, we will link with all the HTML document. If you are creating a separate CSS file, writing CSS code in that CSS file and linking that CSS file with your HTML document, then that approach we are going to call as an external approach. This technique we are going to call as an external styling. Okay, so when to go with external styling? If in your project you have multiple HTML documents, all want same styles, or you have a HTML document and in that HTML document you have lot of elements and you want to write lot of CSS code, then better to go with external styling. External styling. So here I am just creating one more file, something called external. Here I am just writing the same code, pasting here. Okay, I will remove this internal approach. I will open this document. So here I will simply say external approach. Welcome to CSS using external approach. Now for all this paragraph, I want to add some style. Okay, so in that case, what we can do, we can create one separate file, that is CSS file. How to create CSS file? Click on this icon, give the name of your file, and the extension should be .css. File name should be file name dot extension. Extension should be CSS. Now this is CSS file. In this CSS file, we can write only CSS code. So I can select paragraph. I can say here color to be something like coral. And I want to just add here font size. Maybe something like, I will write here something 30 pixel. Okay, I will just add one more property called background color. Something called background color. And here I will add something like light golden rod yellow. Some color I am adding as a background color. So if you want to add a background color for your element, then you can just use a property called background color. Background hyphen color. This is the key name, and you can just add some color. Now save it. Now this is CSS file. This is your HTML file. Now this CSS file, we have to link with this HTML file. So to link this CSS file with HTML file, we have to use one special tag called link tag. We have to use some special tag called link tag. Now link is self-closing tag. And this link tag, we have to add inside the head section. We have to add inside the head section. Now this link tag is going to take two mandatory attributes. The first one is rel. Rel stands for relation, and the value of this attribute should be style sheet. So basically using this rel attribute, we are just saying to the browser the relation between this HTML and CSS is a style sheet. And we have to take one more attribute, that is href. And here we have to add the path of CSS file. path or address of CSS file. This is the syntax. How to link your CSS file with your HTML document means for that we are going to use this particular tag. And it takes two attributes. And those two attributes are REL. REL stands for relation, and href. href. Here we have to configure the address or path of CSS file, and this should be the fixed value. This is the fixed value. We have to give here style sheet only. Okay. So if you go back here, this is our HTML document. Inside head section, we have to take link tag. Now this is a self-closing tag. The first attribute should be relation. The value should be style sheet. And next is href. And here we have to give the path of our CSS file. Now both are present in the same folder. So directly you can write the file name. That's it. Now if you go back here, now see, you got it. Now color text is coral, and here we got some background color. If you see, there is some background color. And the font size also we have increased. If you want, you can add the CSS for this H2 also. So I can go back here. I can add H2. Now here I am saying that color should be red. Font size should be 50 pixel. Now see, color is red and font size is 50 pixel. This is external styling. I hope it's clear, guys. Internal styling, inline styling, and external styling. Understood external styling? Okay, it's very easy, right? Yeah. Maximum in your company's maximum, we will go with external styling only. Maximum time. Okay, very rarely we will go with internal and inline. Very rarely. Maximum time we will go with external styling only, because in your real time you will not have simple document, right? Like this, a very simple document you will not create. You will create very complex document, and that document requires stylings. So it is always recommended to create a separate CSS file. Okay, always recommended to create a separate CSS file. But there will be the combination also. Now I am giving you one assignment. What is that assignment means? What I want, you guys create one HTML document, add here h1 tag, and to h1 tag, to this h1 tag, configure color property. Configure color property. And this color property you configure in all the three approaches. For the same document, you use inline also, you use internal also, you use external also. Use all the approaches on this h1 tag. And you observe your browser is giving more priority. It is giving more priority to which approach. Then once you observe this, then you try inline and internal. You just add inline and internal only. Again, you observe it is giving more priority to which approach. Then try internal and external. In between this, it will give more priority to which approach. Then try external and inline. Like this, do the experiments. Take one HTML document, add all the approaches, add three approaches. Inline styling, internal styling, external styling. Observe. Then add inline internal. Then add external inline. Then add internal external. Now, tomorrow, just come with your answer. In your interviews, they will ask this kind of questions. If I configure all the approaches, which approach will have more priority? Okay, try it, try it. Like a lot of people might already know the answer, but the people who don't know, just try it. How you have to try? Simply create here one document. Okay, just add h1 tag. Hello, CSS something. Now here add inline approach. Just give red. Add internal approach. Okay, just add same property color, but give different value like blue. Then create one demo.css. Just add here color, something like black. Just add black. Connect here. Okay, here I'm just adding something like href demo.css. Now see, for this h1, I have added inline also, I have added internal also, I have added external also. Now load this document in browser and just check. Now, if you see here, first I added link, then I added style. If you find some result, then do something like this. Remove this link from here, add after style. So like this, you change the orders also. You just change the order of your tag names. And just check which will have more priority. Okay. Then just remove this inline. Check only this two. Change the order, check it. Then add inline. Remove this external. Check between these two. Okay, then you try like this. Your style you try to add here. Try to add here. Just check whether it will work or not. Will it give any error or not? Just check. Do these experiments. Okay, and if you do this kind of experiments, this is only we call as a practice. This is what we call as a practice. As a trainer, I will teach you the concept. I will tell you what is inline, what is internal, what is external. I taught you concept. But as a student, what you guys have to do, you have to practice. How to practice? Practice doesn't mean that whatever I have written, you also written same thing, you got the same output. That is not the practice. Practice is doing the experiments on this. You just remove this, change the attribute name, just add here like this, and just check it will work or not. Afterwards, you just do something like this. Here, you just change the key name. If you change key name, it will work or not. Change the value name. It will work or not. Check like this. This is what we call as a practice. This is what we call as a practice. That is the reason I always says that 1 hour class is equivalent to nearly 3 to 5 hours practice. Your 1 hour session should be equivalent to 3 to 5 hour practice. It means if you attend 1 hour class, then you have to spend nearly 3 to 5 hours to practice. Now this is we are at very beginning level, right? We are at very initial level. So we don't have much to practice. Maybe 1 hour, maybe half an hour we will take. But as we progress, your practice time will increase. Your practice time will increase. The more you practice, the more perfect you will be with technologies. And you will just love to practice, guys. See, coding, our IT is all about practice. With practice, we should know theoretical knowledge also. We should be able to explain the concepts theoretically. If someone asks you, can you explain me about inline styling? Then you should be able to explain them in English. Right? If you have the knowledge, if you know, but you are failed to express, then you will be rejected in your interviews. So practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge, both are important. Both are same importance. Give the same importance to both the things. Just imagine you have everything, you know how to do everything, but you don't know how to express it. In your interview, someone asks you, okay, can you explain me about internal styling? Can you explain me the difference between internal and internal styling? And if you fail to explain, if you're not able to explain them, then what opposite person will think? You don't know the concept. This is what opposite person will get the impression. You know the concept, but you were struggling to explain it. Okay. So how to improve your theoretical knowledge means how to improve your external explaining things means just read the articles. Now I taught you the inline styling, right? I taught you internal styling. I taught you external styling. You will practice, you will go home, you will open VS Code, you will write the code, you will practice it. But after practicing, read about these articles. Read about these concepts on different platforms. Like I am giving you PDF, you read that PDF, plus you search these concepts in Google. Like I want to know about inline styling. What I will do, I will go to the Google. I will search here inline styling in CSS. I will click on enter. Now here you will see lot of platforms you will get. You have something called W3 School, right? If you just scroll down, you will get here something called developer.mozilla.org. If you scroll down, you will get here free code camp. Just open this. If you open any link, you will have here one article. You will get like this article. Now read this article. Read 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 10 time, 15 time. Read the article. Now, if you read article, what is the benefit? The benefit is your English will improve. The first thing, your English will improve. You will understand the words. Second, you will understand how to explain the concept. Don't try to mug up. Don't try to mug up. Just read by understanding. Just read it. Just read by understanding. If you did not understand one time, and read one more time. Did not understand, read one more time. Still, if you did not understand, check other platform, check other website. So I would recommend 3 websites. Which you guys can refer. Actually 4. The first should be official documentation. Okay. Second one is you can go through free code camp. Now this is the platform where lot of developers across the world will write the articles on different topics of different technologies. Lot of developers across the world, they will write articles on different topics. They will explain the topics according to their understanding. One more is Gigs for Gigs. This is also very good platform. And one more is medium.com. Okay, these are the 3 or 4 platforms which I prefer. If you guys have different choice, if you find some other platform which is better than this 3 or 4, you can choose those platforms also. Okay, these are my favorites. Maybe you guys might have some different favorites, so you guys can choose. But keep the habit of reading the articles. If you start reading the articles, I'm pretty sure that within 1 month, you will improve a lot in English. You will be able to explain the concepts in much more better way than someone. And that will help you a lot. That will help you a lot. Not only to crack interviews, but in future, if you are applying for a team lead role or maybe for team manager role or project manager roles, then your communication skills should be very good. So all these skills will help there. Okay, we will not be only developers, right? For our entire life, we will be developers only for 3 to 4 years. After that, we will get a promotions. Like you will be a team lead. Then you will do less coding. You will do manage the team. Then you will be the manager of certain projects, maybe manager of multiple projects, maybe project manager. So in this way, you will get the promotions. Now to get good promotions, your communication skills should be very good. And how can you improve the communication skills? By reading, by listening English words. Now, English is mandatory. We don't have any choice. So we have to go through that. Okay. Now for HTML and CSS, the official documentation is W3C. W3 Schools is not official website, W3C. Okay, and these are the two websites which are official documentation for your HTML and CSS. Okay, if I just go here and just search for W3C HTML. Okay, you will get W3 School, but not W3 School. Okay, this is the official website of your HTML and CSS. I think W3 only. Okay, you can learn your HTML and CSS officially from here. But understanding the official documentation will be very, very challenging for the people at very initial level. So in that case, you guys can prefer these three platforms. So at initial stage, it will be very difficult for you to understand official documentation. So follow these three articles on these three platforms. Okay. So now if you go back here, now suppose you want to learn inline styling. Just search for here gigs for gigs. If you say gigs for gigs, you will get that platform. Here you got gigs for gigs. If you just scroll down, somewhere they will explain how to apply inline CSS, gigs for gigs. Just click on that. Now here you will get article. Just read that article. Read this article. Okay. In the same way, you can search for medium also. Just add that keyword medium. Here somewhere you will find that medium also. So here something like medium.com. Now see here we got medium. Read this article. Okay, now this is the author. She is the author. She just explained about inline styling. Just read this article. If you read this article, you will be able to understand how to explain the things. Okay. So you have PDF plus you can just go through these articles. Yeah. So that's all guys for today's session. Remaining things we will see in the tomorrow's session. Are you guys able to understand? Okay. So slow. I'm just going a little bit slow. But the way, but as you practice more, you will be understanding more things. Okay. So slowly, I will be increasing the time, guys. So I will be taking the session till 7. Yeah. So don't think about when that session will, when the batch will end. If you keep the eye on ending date, then you will never learn. So just learn. Okay. Don't worry about when it will finish. So I will finish within 1 month or maximum 1 month, 10 days. We are very at initial stage, right? Once I have done with my 10 sessions, then I will little bit go fast. Means fast in the sense I will cover more concepts. Yeah, guys, let's join tomorrow and let's explore remaining topics. We are going to learn entire CSS, guys, responsiveness, everything we are going to learn. And the people who missed the initial sessions, just go through the YouTube. I have shown you where you will find the videos. I will provide you tomorrow, guys. Okay, about that WhatsApp group, I will provide you tomorrow. Okay, I lost that link. Tomorrow I will give you that WhatsApp group link so you guys can join that. Ashwini Gaud, we have to learn all like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. You should know at least this 4. Minimum 4. Apart from that, you should know React or Angular or Vue.js. Anyone you should know based on that 3. Okay. Out of that 3, you should know anyone. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. These are mandatory. Apart from this, you should know React or Angular or Vue.js. Anyone you should know. Tomorrow I will tell you about that lorem. Okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow I will explain how to generate that random content.